We're now joined for some analysis by Professor Bheki Mngomezulu. Prof, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, a number of concerns ahead of the policy conference, raising a lot of questions as to whether or not there would be any meaningful policy discussions, just given the internal challenges plaguing the party, allegations against President Cyril Ramaphosa with regards to the Phala farm matter, for one, and of course the provinces that called for the scrapping of the step-aside resolution. Just your assessment of the policy conference that that now has wrapped up. Just some key takeaways. Professor Mngomezulu, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Yeah, you can continue. I'm trying to connect the charger. You can continue.
All right, just from a first analysis in terms of just some key takeaways from this conference now that it has wrapped up. I mean, there were a number of concerns that threatened to disrupt the policy conference engagements on raising key policy issues, making it very difficult and questions being raised as to whether or not there would be meaningful policy discussions. And a report back, just because of the internal, of course, challenges plaguing the party. Your key takeouts?
I think there are a couple of things, but the very first one, which is the most important, was the issue, was the step-aside resolution, wherein a number of leaders sang from different hymn books. You might have heard Kwete Mantashe, the chairperson, saying that there is no way that they are going to change that policy. And then the president also emphasized the same point. And then when you listen to former Deputy President Kgalema Motlanthe said, with or without step aside, the constitution of the ANC has enough clauses to assist the organization to deal with corruption. So that for me gave a different signals from the same organization where would have expected them to be singing from the same hymn book, clear on the matter, and then some parts of Limpopo also clear on the matter, and then others from Mpumalanga were saying that at least you have to revise it so that at least it is implemented evenly, and then there are no disturbances and divisions within the party. So for me, that was the most important one because it is at the core of this factionalism in the ANC at the moment.
Just before the conference really started taking off, you had former President Kgalema Motlanthe and Thabo Bheki, including, in fact, President Cyril Ramaphosa, conceding that the party is at its weakest since the dawn of democracy. The concern then is, will the ANC, given its position, be able to drive change at societal level, to implement just some of its policies in line with its vision? I mean, if you've heard President Cyril Ramaphosa's address there saying that the focus will be on branches and that they need to be very close to the people.
You know what, my sister? The leadership of the ANC has made the correct noises and they've pressed the correct buttons. The problem is on the implementation phase. For example, as we just highlighted, President Cyril Ramaphosa did not mince his words about admitting that, in fact, the problem that the ANC is facing are not of anybody's making, but the ANC itself. He even quoted Dr. Mngomezulu Zuma making a similar point, saying that the reason why the ANC is where it is right now is because opposition parties have very little to do. They are not capitalizing on which then leads to complacency within the ANC, because they know that even if they don't do well, they will still have a majority of the seats at national level, and they will still also be able to retain a number of these provinces, except for the Western Cape. And then, truth be told, also KwaZulu-Natal is on the verge of going to the IFP. Except for those two provinces, because of complacency, then I think that they have to do something and do something now. But I appreciate the fact that a number of leaders, including Solema Paile, the newly elected leader of the SACP is at the moment, in fact, Unity is at its lowest ebb, and then also in terms of popularity, the ANC has lost popularity. They admitted that that is something good, it's a good start, but then the next phase then will be to ask the question, one, how did we get here? And then two, how do we get out of this? So those are the two critical questions they need to address. The policy conference is now behind them. Now the focus will now be on the December elective conference. If they make mistakes in December, then the results will only be seen in 2024 when we have our general election. So thus far, I think I'm happy with the admission, but then we'll wait and see if they will implement what they thought are the problems and then rectify them on time before the 2024 general election.
Professor Mngomezulu, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, not a very clear line there, but Professor, just weighing in on the policy conference that has just wrapped up.